everyone in another YouTube video. Upon your request, upon all the conversations we have had together on my Instagram account and on my email address, where so many of you have been sending me your CVs and seek my opinion on your structure of your CV and how your CV should look like, I decided to make this short video in which I'm going to explain to you why your CV should be longer, why your CV shouldn't be just one page. So 99.9% of the CVs that you guys have sent it to me are CVs of one page. And my same question goes for you. Why did you prepare a CV of only one page? You guys have answered to me that one page of CV is enough. Well, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but one page of CV is definitely not enough. And I will tell you why it's not enough. You're applying for the job position of a flight attendant and a cabin crew, right? Let's go back to the open days that you have attended. Many of you that are watching this video have attended an open day where you have left your CV and you haven't been called to attend the assessment day. Many of you that are watching this video have submitted your online application and no one has ever invited you to attend the assessment day. Have you asked yourself why? And I'm going to tell you exactly why. It's because your CV was not attractive enough. With one page of CV, you might get selected. I'm not saying that you're not going to get selected, but definitely you're not going to shine. Let's go back to the number of how many people are applying for this job position. Hundreds, thousands, 2,000s, 5,000s? Believe me, in South Korea, according to some of the informations that I have gotten, there has been recruitment dates, application dates, in which up to 2,000 and more candidates have been applying. So can you imagine the type of CV you're supposed to have? It should be really, really outstanding. And I'm sorry to say this, but with one page of CV, with so many informations on that one page in which you're focusing on putting the picture, you're putting a cover sentence, personal information, education, work experience, skills, the most important part of your CV. And you are thinking that the recruiters, once they get your CV, if you have been submitting it on the open day, let's say, do you think that they have time to go through all those messages in one page? Think of yourself. When you are going to get a page with so many information, is it difficult for you to focus on the important things? Do you think that they read from the first information until the last information on your CV? No. There are only two important factors in every CV when the recruitment teams are looking at. And one of them is your work experience and the other one are your key skills. Everything else that you put in your CV, I always love to say that, is your makeup. So your face features are your work experience and your key skills, and everything else, starting from the picture, education, languages that you speak, everything else is called a very nice makeup. And if you want to add a little bit of highlight on that, I'd like to connect this with the makeup. You can always use a certain design and how your CV should look like. To many of the applicants and the candidates that I have been talking to, I told you that my CV, when I applied for the open day, was white with a little bit of pink decoration around. For the simple reason, it's my favorite color. And my CV was, believe it or not, with only 6 months of work experience, I made my CV 3 pages. I did not divide the CV so much and make it like white blank pages, but definitely I put a nice picture, I put a nice cover sentence that is representing me, and then later on I continued with my personal information, education, work experience, languages that I speak, key skills, hobbies, so on and so forth. Whatever you're gonna put around and which order you're gonna use, believe me, it's not so important as the fact that if I'm the recruiter and I'm gonna be recruiting you, I'd like to know that I am having a person that has so much to say in at least 2 pages. Because if I have only one page, you're like many of the people, like you're just like everyone else. And what we're talking here is being outstanding, being different. Let's connect that going beyond the expectations. Let's connect that to the customer service. We are always giving the service to the customers in order of the frame. But how can we go beyond the expectation? Can you go beyond the expectations to the recruitment team if you go with the one page of CV? No. You're gonna go beyond the expectations if you go with a CV that has at least 2 to 3 pages, an outstanding CV. That is the term that I always love to use. Further on of this video, I'm gonna shortly explain to you what is an outstanding CV. Please pay attention to every part, it's very important. Now, if you are, I would like to make a little correction in the part that comes in further on. If you're an applicant that has no work experience, you are a fresh graduate, you are definitely not going to be having enough information on 2 pages of CV, so feel free to have your CV at 1 page. Bear in mind that nowadays the airlines, including Qatar Airways, are more and more and often seeking for candidates who have work experience, not necessarily related to customer service or related to previous experience in aviation. But yet we must understand that if the airlines are looking for candidates with a previous work experience, it's in their strategic way of working, it's in their human resource strategy further on, because I certainly believe that people who have been working can much easily implement themselves in the new role of being a flight attendant. And for a fresh new joiner, please bear in mind that the recruiters must see a huge potential in you, that you're able to fit in the job, but that doesn't mean that it's impossible, that it's definitely possible if you are a candidate who's suitable for that job, and if they're able to see that you're going to be recruited even with 1 page of CV. Now, why your CV should be 2 to 3 pages, it comes on further to this video. Now, every CV is starting, of course, most of the CVs actually are starting with a photo. Feel free to put a photo that is like a passport size photo where you look nice with nice makeup. I have a video for the ladies on how your makeup should look like. For the gentlemen, feel free to put a picture that is pretty much the same as the photo of your passport. Focus on a picture. If you're making a new picture, focus on a picture in which you have a clean shaved face, you have a conservative hairstyle, and avoid having earrings. If you're a gentleman and have some earrings, or I don't know, that funky style of those, please make sure that you look on the photo of your CV presentable and professional. Later on comes the part where you can put a cover sentence, kind of a summarized small cover letter in which you are explaining your vision or your mission for the airline that you would like to work for. But please, many of you are sending me messages on can you give us suggestion, can you give us ideas how it should look like. Further on in this video, I'm gonna give you a suggestion on how the cover sentence should sound like. Please don't copy these cover sentences, and please ensure that whatever you're gonna write under your picture, it represents you, because you don't want the recruitment team to be reading over and over the same message, right?
Jobs for flight attendants are competitive. One way to stand out from the crowd is to write a strong cover sentence that emphasizes your unique skills and abilities. Example number 1. I am an enthusiastic applicant for the job position cabin crew for Qatar Airways. I'm confident that my dynamic customer service and teamwork skills will make me a valuable member of your crew. Example number 2. I have received the Staff Member of the Year award twice for my impeccable service in my previous job. I know you will find me to be an outstanding and qualified candidate for your cabin crew position.
Then comes the part in which you can nicely arrange the personal information, such as your name, your last name, your email address, your phone phone number, and how do you prefer to be contacted, via email address or via phone number. Write it nicely with nice format, one after another one, and you don't have to squeeze them so much together. Just make sure when I am the recruiter and I'm going to be opening your CV, and when I'm going to be seeing it, it looks nice and pleasant for my eyes. Then comes the part in which you can put your education, and over here I would suggest to also mention the achievements that you have made during your education. If you had any. If you haven't had any, please don't stress about it, but if you have achieved any rewards, please do mention in the part of your education. Nicely write down the school, the university, the address of the university, of the school, of the college that you have been, and as I said, write down nicely the achievements if you've had any during the process of education. In the part of the education, if you have been anticipating in certain courses, additional courses that are related to your education or not necessarily related to your education, please also mention this in this part as a closer chapter of the education part in your curriculum vitae. Now comes a very crucial part of your curriculum vitae, which is related to your work experience. Besides writing nicely the company that you have been working for, or you're currently working for, or the entire companies that you have been working for, please don't hesitate to mention all your work experience, but please write it in a structured manner with from which to which year you have been working, what was your job description, if your job, I would suggest over here, if your job description, for example, you were a model, I wouldn't write down my job description as a model that much. I will just focus on meeting, perhaps doing photo shootings that were required, but if you were doing a job that is not related to customer service in particular, do not mention what you were working too much. Rather than just write your work position and write the company you have been working for. Very, very important over here. Please don't forget to mention, and if you have had any references, this is going to be a plus point for you, because as I said, there are two important factors that your recruiters are looking at your CV. One is the work experience, and the other one is your key skills. So nicely write down every work experience of yours, write down the correct address on where they can seek for further references if needed. But if you have been proactive and you have taken the references, please don't forget to attach it to your CV, because that's how your CV will give will leave a big impression, will leave a good impression to the recruitment team, and they will be definitely taking you into consideration as a future candidate for the job position of a cabin crew. Over here also comes an important part that you can mention are also the achievements that you have made during your work career in the particular company you have been working for. So therefore, don't forget to mention that any achievement while you were working in that particular company have been achieved during the time that you were with the team of that company, and believe me, that is going to be also a plus point for you for the recruitment team when they will be looking at your curriculum vitae. Next part is, of course, languages that you speak. I get often questions like, do I have to speak so many languages because I only speak English and Tagalog, for example? No, ladies and gentlemen, if you go on the website qatarairways.com/careers, and if you see the non-negotiable terms and conditions required for you to apply for the job position of a cabin crew, you will clearly see that it's written only you should be fluent in English, reading and spoken. That's why you only have an English test. You do not have a test on your assessment day for any other language, but definitely it will be a plus point for you if you speak other languages, or you are currently in a process of speaking other languages. So don't forget, don't hesitate to mention the part of the languages that you speak nicely. As I said, don't squeeze all the informations together. For example, you have finished over here your work experience, and on the opposite side you're putting straight away your languages that you speak. Just write it. Write the paragraphs or the components of your CV one after another one, with a pleasant way of looking of how, for example, if I'm the recruiter, when I will be opening, it's not going to be so much information that my eyes will hurt and I don't know where to look first. So I have a structurized way of putting information in my curriculum vitae. Now comes the most important part of your CV that many of you are just not paying attention to it. And I'm sorry to say this, you guys have been hoping so much to get selected. You have been hoping so much to get that invitation for the application, for the assessment day, but you are definitely not paying attention to your key skills. Key skills is what the employer, what the recruiters are looking for. Besides knowing what you have been doing in your life, what you have been working, of course, related to the education, I would say that the education and the work experience goes together hand in hand. The key skills are something the company are looking for the simple reason they want to know what are you capable of doing. Many of you are asking me to write for you key skills for the aviation. I refrain from writing to you personal key skills for the simple reason is I don't want you to repeat yourself. I have given in one of my previous videos an idea of what type of key skills you should include. Please bear in mind that when you're writing the key skills, those key skills shouldn't be objective. For example, teamwork. In key skills section, if I'm the employer, what does that mean? Teamwork. Being, for example, I would write myself, being able to work in a team, at the same time being able to work alone whenever required. So over here, what I'm what I'm showing to the recruiters is that I am able to do something in such a way. So I'm working in a team, but if I just read teamwork, do I have to assume that this person is able to work in a team just by writing teamwork? I don't have time for assumption if I'm the recruitment team. So therefore, please try to write your key skills in a structure form. I would suggest to write down 8 to 10 key skills that are representing you. Again, refrain from copying the key skills that you're gonna find on the internet. Don't hesitate to look for the key skills structures, how they should look like, but refrain from copying them because someone else has done that. And you again not going to be selected because the recruitment team is very smart, is very experienced, and they will know what you have done. The key skills must represent you. Another important aspect of why the key skills are important is when you are filling up the online application, when you go on the website of qatairways.com/careers, and when you're going to the part to write your personal information, your work experience, they're also over there asking you for the key skills. And this should be one indication to you that, right, this company really wants to know what I'm able to do, rather than one of the candidates just sent me a few days ago a CV in which is written skills and cultural abilities. I was like, skills and cultural abilities? Okay. They were disaster in total. Of course, I suggested to her what I'm suggesting to you today, and that is one of the reasons why I made this video, in order to tell you that the importance of key skills in your CV written as a part key skills is crucial. The key skills must represent you. The key skills must be your subjective presentation to the recruiter of what you are able to do, and certainly the key skills should not be something that you copy and paste from internet and you put on your curriculum vitae. So let's check the frame of what type of key skills you should put.
A good list of cabin crew desired skills will make your resume better than 9 out of 10 others. My suggestions for key skills that are related to the job description of cabin crew would be the following. good communication and good interpersonal skills, ability to work well with team and ability to work alone whenever necessary, being initiative, adopting well to different cultures and understanding people's values, beliefs, attitudes, and behaviors, problem solving, ability to stay calm under pressure, good literature and good numerous skills, ability to use tact, keeping passengers' information confidential, physical activity that describes you as a fit person, and many, many more.
And the last part of your CV is, of course, your hobbies and your interest. Will definitely give the impression to the recruitment team of what type of person you are. For example, if you put hobbies such as reading, such as watching TVs, cooking, for example, you will leave an impression of a kind of a person that is introvert, that likes to stay at home, that likes to do things not so much related to interaction with people. So I would suggest not to hesitate to put this type of hobbies and interests, but also put hobbies and interests that are related to doing sports, hobbies and interests that are related to do social gatherings. Along with people, that will leave the impression to the recruitment team that you are a type of person that likes to hang out. And again, for the lazy ones, I'd like to call some of the candidates and applicants lazy ones, because they're basically expecting from me to write their CVs, because when you will be sending me a question, can you send me a CV so I can make a CV according to this CV? I immediately get an information and a picture that it's a candidate who doesn't like to switch on his or her brain, who doesn't want to sit down and make a nice curriculum vitae. Don't worry, I am definitely going to be having a CV template that is going to be available on my website very soon. I'm working on it. But for the smart ones, that I have given you all the information in this video on how you should structurize your CV and how you should make your CV, please don't hesitate to do it this way, and don't forget to send me back the feedback, to give me a feedback on whether this was successful, and try to make that CV of yours you. Present yourself in the CV. Don't look for a copy-paste CV, don't look for copy-paste skills. Sell yourself in the proper way. Nowadays, people who are successful in every business, and people who have been successful to sell themselves on the market, particularly in the job description of the cabin crew, are those who made an outstanding performance in terms of outstanding CV. They presented themselves outstanding. They presented and they showed an outstanding personality because they worked on it. They didn't borrow it from me. They didn't took it from you. They were smart to read, to watch videos like you're watching this one, to research and to think. That's the key to be successful in this job. I'm going to be seeing you very soon with another video. Until then, stay blessed and don't forget to click subscribe and like this video. Bye-bye and have a nice day.